small business succession planning. What happens when you decide to step back? Okay. So, Denise, what are we talking about here?
Well, as you come to the end of the year and it's holiday season and you have your own business, you start thinking about legacies, and you start thinking about, we're getting older, and it's funny when you turn 60 years old. We have people ask Dan and I all the time, how soon till you're going to retire? And
what's your guys' plan?
What's your plan? And so what happens, if you decide that you're going to step back from your business? And by the way, we are not. I say this all the time. I said this to somebody the other day. They asked me, well, how long will you and Dan be here? And I said, have you ever seen a farmer who can retire,
Well, and I tell people too, I said, we just built that building out there.
We just built a building.
I say, I didn't build that building for, to not use it at least for a while. So
I'm like,
we're not going anywhere.
For a while. So we'll squelch that rumor with this radio show
But now
today.
on that, that doesn't mean that, these kind of things aren't things that every business owner, including us, starts to think about, so that's the reason why, like I said, Sloan, I think she wanted us to do this radio show, and it does make a lot of sense for us to do it.
Yeah.
But, there are some people who don't want to work forever.
There are those people. Yes.
Who are thinking about, you get so caught up in the day-to-day stuff that you don't let yourself think about the future or what it could possibly hold. And you always feel like, oh, well, I'll get around to that. We'll get around to talking about what we're going to do with the business. The problem is when you wait too long, it can leave family, it can leave employees, and even your customers uncertain about the future. Mm-hmm. And it's not always a dramatic retirement moment. Sometimes it's just needing to take a break, or you have health issues that come up, or you want to spend more time with your grandkids. Because succession, I can't say that word. Succession isn't just about selling your business. It's about making sure the business can keep running even if you're not there every day. It's about continuity. It's about relationships and protecting what you've built.
Mm-hmm. Your business becomes part of you. When you own it and when you've ran it, and it, owners, it's so much their identity, and so oftentimes it's too much of their identity. Many owners say, like Denise said, I'm going to cross that bridge later and not worry about it. But if there's no plan and something happens, it leaves everybody scrambling. Mm-hmm. And, we've seen cases where the owner's unexpected illness or death force quick, difficult decisions. Waiting doesn't protect anyone. It just pushes the stress downstream oftentimes. And that uncertainty can cause conflict or even risk the survival of the business.
So it's a hard word to say, but
yeah.
What does succession really mean,
Well,
Denise?
It can mean the full sale of a business, or a gradual transition to a family member or an employee, or just putting systems in place so the business runs without you for a while. It isn't a one-size-fits-all. It's a process, not a moment. And it often starts with conversations. Who's capable, who's interested, and how to be fair to everyone involved.
But that's the reason why you hire professionals, you hire smart people, and so that you want to create, as a business owner, a business, not a job for yourself. Mm-hmm. Because someday, if and when you do retire, if you, let's say you want to sell your business to someone beyond a family member, especially, they got to know they have an opportunity to buy a business that will run without you, because if you're not there, then what are they buying?
Right.
Early planning gives you more choices.
So where do you even start, Denise?
Conversations. Oh my gosh, how many times do we sit here and say, talk about it.
But that's so hard, though.
Oh, I know. But and those are hard conversations, but they're conversations that you need to have, not just with your family, your kids, but with your employees, your team of people that you work with. And then build a team around you. And what I'm saying is that talk with a financial planner, an accountant, an attorney, a certified exit planner.
Yes.
And kind of start to get your ducks in a row. Find out what your business is worth. Find out how you can position yourself to exit that business. And, you know, for some owners, it's handing things off slowly, delegating 1 or 2 tasks. And, you know, for some people, it's as simple as, I just can't imagine being here and not being in charge.
Right.
You know, but you really need to visit with several people before you just make that call or make that decision.
Aaron,
Right,
through my schooling with the Certified Exit Planning Advisor, one of the statistics that they talk about in there that to me was so interesting, and I'm not going to tell you the exact number. Almost 70% of the business owners regretted selling their business a year later, and it wasn't because of the money. It wasn't because they didn't feel like they got enough money. It's because they hadn't prepared for life after their business. And you know, Denise and I have talked.
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
And I mean, it was like 70% regretted selling their business because they didn't have something to retire to. I mean, that's as important as the making sure you sell it correctly and making sure that you take care of your clients and all that stuff. It is, what am I going to do after I'm gone?
What am I going to do?
You know, whenever somebody is planning their succession, again, their family's involved, their clients are involved, their community is involved. And so it's not about, again, we started talking a little bit about legacy, you know, so it's not all about the numbers. It's about the people, the legacy, the impact on others.
Yeah. So let's wrap this up, kind of bring this together, put it in a pack. It's a holiday. Let's put a bow on it.
There you go.
So what do we want to think about here?
Start with those conversations. It's always awkward. I mean, sometimes it's awkward. Sometimes it doesn't feel warm and fuzzy. But I think you have to start off with conversation, and you have to say, look, are you interested? Are you interested? I'm not going to be here forever. You know, start having those conversations. And that's probably the biggest thing you need to do is to talk about it and get started.
And that's exactly right. And, you know, again, every business, every small business or large business, medium-sized business is different. Again, there's family succession that's going to have to be taken into consideration. Some of them it's not, you know. And so I think oftentimes, you know, have those conversations, but then also talk to a third party. You know, like a certified financial planner, a certified exit planner, your accountant, somebody, have some conversations with them. Mm-hmm. And the other thing that is pretty evident with about 80% of the business owners out there, the majority of their net worth is tied up in that business.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So a lot of the thing, you know, a lot of this is coming from my training that I did. I mean, I suspected these numbers were true, but I were able to find sources to validate it. You know, again, like I said, about 70 to 80% of most business owners' value or net worth is tied up in their business, but oftentimes they don't really know what that business is worth. Mm-hmm. And so getting a valuation on that business is a start. One thing that I'm going to share is we have a service that we do that we can do business valuations. Now, they're not certified business valuations. They're AI-based valuations utilizing a collective of AI tools, but I will tell you they're very, very accurate, you know, and so it's a great place to start. So that would be something that I would recommend for folks that, you know, if succession is on your mind, you know, also knowing that value of what you got to work with.
Right.
And then also, then the next step is, what are those things that you can improve that value if you're not yet ready to retire or have succession right now? You know, and there's actually people out there that you know are what they call valuation advisors, mm-hmm. where they help you raise the value of your business by giving you guidance on processes to implement and things like that. So there's a lot of tools and resources out there.
But you have to start.
But you got to start.
You have to start.
Right, you got to start.
2026 is just ahead. That could be your tackle it for 2026.
That's right.
So
absolutely.
Very good. Dan,
So-
anything else?
No, we
Denise?
probably went a little long today, so
That's
I
good
apologize.
stuff. That's
All right.
good stuff right there. So,
Yeah.
anything else?
No, I think
Bill-
everybody have a good week. Stay safe and don't slip on the ice.
Be careful.
Be careful, everybody. Be careful.
Absolutely. It's going to be cold. Stay warm.
All right, stay warm.
Make it a great day.
Thanks.
Building rural wealth with Milestone Financial.